What's up everyone? I have a 5 wolf victory for today, and honestly I really enjoy playing with the wolf. The ability it has is super useful. You can put it in a summon team and you'll definitely be very happy with it. I don't really play many summon teams myself, so I don't really use it for that purpose, but even if you just take it as a raw 4-4 unit with its feint ability, it's still very strong. Stat wise it's kind of similar to a fly, which you can find one tier earlier, which is always very nice. And given the flavor of the ability relating to the fairy tale of the 3 piglets and the and the wolf, I found that very endearing. So yeah, it definitely deserved its own 5 of a kind in my eyes. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And to be starting off, I'm going to be taking this baboon. Very luckily I managed to level into it. I think I've sung its praises already, but I think it's maybe apart from the weasel, I think it's the best tier 3 unit in the golden pack. Provides a lot of scaling, which the golden pack doesn't have much of until the late game. So it allows you for a way to pull ahead of the competition. I'm trying to do that here with the Doorhead Ant. It's an excellent combo. The baboon provides some much needed attack to the Doorhead Ant, so it can maybe kill stuff with only one hit. Unfortunately this team right here had a buffed up lizard, so that wasn't the case. And honestly, despite my team being very strong, I'm only at 3 hearts somehow, which kind of unfortunate, but I think I'm going to be making up for this mistake by picking up a weasel and 2 baboons. The only downside of the baboon is that at tier 3 it can maybe buff itself like it just did. I obviously picked up 2 baboons hoping for one of them to land on the weasel. Unfortunately that wasn't the case, but I think I'm going to be leveling up the baboons on this turn. Yeah, very luckily I find another one. So now the buff is guaranteed to go on the weasel. And I think this baboon is going to stick for a while. Obviously preserving the level of the Doorhead Ant for next turn so I can find the tier 5 unit. And yeah, it's going to be some very good scaling. You can see the buff from the weasel is already paying off. Unfortunately, the second I pick up a slug on my team, the enemy has the the royal flycatcher, so obviously I'm going to be losing that. And here I try to maximize the chances of the opossum hit to hit the wolf. Excuse me, I had a brain fart there, but unfortunately it didn't hit it anyway, it hit the groundhog. But it's so good because the team is so strong now, especially when I'm on 1 wins. I'm facing other teams that are on 1 wins, so I'm not really going to have a very difficult time trying to get some wins myself. Here I'm just preserving a level up for the next turn. I think the best strategy for a golden pack is to preserve a level up on turn 9, because there are so many strong tier 6 units in the golden pack. You can get a Bird of Paradise, you can get a Cobra, you can get a Highland Cow. Even the, what was its name, the Wildebeest isn't a bad option if you have some trumpet generation on your team. Thankfully I got the German Shepherd right here and I'm deciding what I should sell for it. So yeah, now that I have this German Shepherd on the team, it's going to be very nice, because not only does it have excellent synergy with the slug and the wolf, it also provides a little bit of scaling, for now only 3 attack when I include a unit on the team. And the baboon now is even buffing the wolf, so that's some extra scaling going for me. So yeah, everything is going super well right now. And I'd have to say that the main weakness of the wolf is that it performs multiple attacks. First the wolf itself, then when it feints the 3 pigs. So it's kind of weak against grizzly teams, so I'm hoping to not get matched against many of those. It's also kind of weak against the royal flycatcher, because on every pick that you spawn it gets to deal 3 damage. That's if it's at level 1. Obviously it can get much worse than that the higher the level is. But yeah, I'm hoping to not get matched against many of those teams, and I'm just scaling for now. Positioning for this team is kind of tricky to get right, because the German Shepherd wants to be at the back, the Wolves also want to be at the back, but at the same time they have so much attack, so I don't really want to have them at the very back. And thankfully this round worked out for me just because of the German Shepherd. You can see even from turn 10 people are running Nurse Shark unfair builds. Kind of unfortunate, but thankfully the hits landed on the weak units, so that I wasn't too punished for going up against those teams. And I haven't talked much about this, but you can probably tell what my scaling method of choice is going to be during this run. I've taken the the cockatoo. So now that it can buff 3 wolves at a time, I believe I have 3 wolves on the team right now. Yeah. And if I manage to get the cockatoo to level 2, I can even maybe pick up a catfish. You can see I freeze one here. And thankfully I do end up finding another cockatoo. So now it's at level 2. I'm going to be getting +4 +2 3 times, which is 12-6 scaling for every cockatoo purchase, and 3 +12 +6 with the catfish. I guess it's worth 1 gold, but that's really just a bargain in my opinion, so I'm not really mentioning that. But yeah, everything's in place now, and I'm just hoping to get good matchups. Once again, I'm trying not to get matched against grizzlies or flycatchers. It's obviously out of my control, but I'm trying my best. A little bit of a misplay here, kind of ironic, as I say I'm trying my best, that I end up missing a cockatoo. But whatever the case, this matchup is very bad for me. They have both a grizzly and what is it called? It escapes me every time, a flycatcher. But somehow miraculously it ends up being a draw. And I get an incredible amount of scaling on this turn as well. So yeah, the game just plays itself at this point basically. I'm just trying to not lose, getting as much scaling as I can, hopefully getting some good equipment for the rest of my wolves. I think potato would be good for one of them, just to absorb some tomato snipes. Some people praise the eggplant. At this point I think on the wolf in the back I would prefer to have pita bread, but obviously that's out of my control as well, if I'm going to roll one or not. I'm doing a little bit of repositioning here. I don't know if the extra pick spawns are worth the junky positioning. So I just moved the 50 attack units at the front. Another cheesy team trying to get the better of me with trumpets with Nurse Shark. Thankfully the hits were bad on their part, so I ended up winning that round. And I'm going to make the final transition here, as I believe I also made another slight misplay. I think here is better to buy chocolate than cockatoo to get some extra bit of scaling. Unfortunately I wasn't particularly bright on that day it seems, so I'm just going to stick with the inferior scaling. And yeah, this is going to be the build basically. I'm not going to win yet, I believe. Let's see what happens. Another grizzly, of course. That's probably my only counter at this point. You can see, because I'm attacking so much with the pigs and they even have a wolf of their own that attacks so many times as well, their grizzly just gets an insane number of snipes. But yeah, this is going to be the last turn right here. I'm just trying to find some decent equipment. Unfortunately, I don't really find anything good. I don't think pita bread is good enough for the final 2 wolves. But yeah, this is going to be it for me. If you enjoyed the run, please like, sub, do all the generic stuff, leave a nice comment, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.